The Bond Beyond Names. Part 4. True Partnership. The wedding of Zhao Yong and Marquis Shin was unlike any the Empire had seen. It was not marked by ostentatious displays of wealth or the rigid rituals that bound most unions. Instead, it was a celebration of dignity, equality, and love. The gardens of Shun's estate bloomed with jasmine and peonies, their fragrance mingling with the laughter of guests. Nobles and merchants alike attended, curious to witness the union of a marquis and a merchant. Some whispered, skeptical of a bond that defied convention. Yet when Shin stood before them and declared, "This man is my husband, my equal, my partner," the murmurs fell silent. Zhao Yong, dressed in robes of deep blue embroidered with silver waves, felt a calm he had never known. In his first life, his wedding had been a gilded cage, a spectacle masking cruelty. This time it was freedom. He looked at Shun and saw not a master but companion, not chains but wings. The ceremony was simple yet profound. They bowed before the ancestral tablets together, not one above the other, but side by side. Shin clasped Zhao Yang's hand firmly, a gesture that spoke louder than any vow. "From this day forward," Shin said, his voice carrying across the courtyard, "we walk together, husband to husband, equal in dignity, equal in love." The guests, though startled, could not deny the sincerity in his words. Some nobles frowned, bound by tradition, but others nodded, recognizing the strength of a union built upon respect. Merchants whispered with admiration, seeing in Zhao Yong a man who had risen not through surrender but through resilience. Their marriage was not without challenges. The empire was rife with intrigue, and many sought to undermine them. Rivals in trade continued their schemes, jealous of Zhao Yang's success. Officials whispered that Shun had compromised his dignity by marrying a merchant, yet together they faced each challenge with resilience. When merchants conspired to corner the silk market, Zhao Yong devised strategies to outmaneuver them, securing alliances with distant provinces. Shun lent his authority to protect trade routes, ensuring Zhao Yang's caravans traveled safely. When officials attempted to slander them, Shin confronted them openly, declaring that dignity lay not in titles, but in actions. Their partnership became a symbol. People began to speak of them not as marquis and merchant, but as two men who embodied the strength of unity. Scholars praised their wisdom, peasants admired their fairness, and even nobles grudgingly respected their resilience. At home, their bond deepened. Shin insisted that Zhao Yong never diminish himself. "You are not my wife," he would say firmly. "You are my husband. The word wife does not fit us. We stand side by side." Zhao Yong, hearing these words, felt the scars of his past life heal slowly. Yet Zhao Yong did not forget the lessons of his first life. He remained vigilant, ensuring that his worth was never surrendered, that his dignity was never compromised. He managed his business with brilliance, expanding his empire across provinces, building networks that enriched not only himself but the people. Shun, proud of his partner's achievements, often remarked, "Your wisdom strengthens me more than armies." Together, they faced storms. Bandits struck again, emboldened by resentment, but Shun and Zhao Yong stood united. Shun led his soldiers with valor, while Zhao Yong, drawing upon his knowledge of terrain and trade, guided their defense. Their combined strength repelled the threat, proving that their union was not merely symbolic, but practical, a force that protected lives and livelihoods. In quieter moments, they found joy in simplicity. They walked through gardens, discussed philosophy, shared meals prepared with care. Zhao Yong, once haunted by loneliness, now found solace in Shun's presence. Shun, burdened by the weight of nobility, found peace in Zhao Yang's wisdom. Their love was not the reckless passion of youth, but the steady flame of companionship. It was built upon respect, nurtured by trust, and strengthened by shared trials. Zhao Yong, who had once believed love to be a trap, now understood that true love was freedom. The freedom to be oneself, the freedom to walk beside another without fear. And so, their union became a beacon. In a world bound by rigid conventions, they proved that dignity could exist within love, that equality could flourish within marriage, that partnership could overcome even the harshest of trials. Their marriage quickly became the subject of discussion at the imperial court. Some officials scoffed, dismissing it as a scandalous novelty. Others, more perceptive, recognized the strength of their union. Shun's authority as a marquis was undeniable, and Zhao Yang's influence in commerce was unmatched. Together, they formed a partnership that threatened entrenched interests. Whispers reached the emperor himself. Curious, he summoned Shun and Zhao Yang to the palace. The hall was vast, its pillars carved with dragons, its floor polished like glass. Courtiers watched with keen eyes as the two men approached the throne. The emperor studied them for a long moment before speaking. "It is said you defy tradition," he said, his voice calm but probing. "That you call each other husband, not master and wife. Tell me, Zhao Yang, why should the empire respect such a union?" Zhao Yang bowed deeply, his voice steady. "Because respect is born not of titles, but of deeds. In my first life, I surrendered my dignity for love, and was reduced to nothing. In this life, I have built an empire of trade that enriches the people. Marquis should stand beside me, not above me, and together we strengthen both commerce and governance. If the empire values prosperity and integrity, then it must value partnership built upon equality." The emperor's eyes narrowed, then softened. He turned to Shun. "And you, Marquis, do you truly see this man as your equal?" Shun's reply was firm. "I do. His wisdom guides me. His resilience inspires me. He is not my wife, nor beneath me. He is my husband, my partner. Together we are stronger than apart." The emperor leaned back, thoughtful. Finally, he nodded. "Then let the court learn from you. Strength lies not in rigid tradition, but in unity. Serve the empire well, and your union shall be respected." The courtiers murmured, some in disapproval, others in reluctant admiration. Zhao Yang felt a weight lift from his shoulders. For the first time, his dignity was acknowledged not only by Shin but by the highest authority in the land. From that day, their partnership flourished openly. Zhao Yang expanded his business empire further, establishing trade routes that connected distant provinces and foreign lands. He introduced innovations in accounting and logistics, ensuring efficiency and fairness. Shun supported him, using his authority to secure safe passage and protect merchants from corruption. Together, they became a force that transformed the empire's economy. Farmers received fair prices, artisans found new markets, and merchants thrived under Zhao Yang's guidance. Shin's governance grew stronger, enriched by Zhao Yang's insights. Their names became synonymous with prosperity and justice. Yet their greatest triumph was not in wealth or power, but in the life they built together. At home, they shared quiet moments of joy. Shin would return from court weary, and Zhao Yang would greet him with tea and conversation. They walked through gardens, discussed philosophy, and laughed at simple pleasures. Zhao Yang, once haunted by loneliness, now found solace in Shun's presence. Shun, burdened by nobility, found peace in Zhao Yang's wisdom. Their love was steady, enduring. It was not the reckless passion of youth, but the deep flame of companionship. Zhao Yang, who had once believed love to be a trap, now understood that true love was freedom. The freedom to be oneself, the freedom to walk beside another without fear. Years passed, and their bond only grew stronger. When storms threatened, they faced them together. When rivals schemed, they outmaneuvered them with unity. When the empire faltered, they offered solutions born of partnership. In the twilight of their lives, Zhao Yang often reflected upon his journey. He remembered his first life, the gilded cage, the humiliation, the despair. He remembered his vow never to surrender again. And he remembered the moment Shun had taken his hand and said, "You are my equal." Now, as he sat beside Shin watching the sun set over their estate, Zhao Yang felt a peace he had never known. He had lived two lives, one of misery, one of fulfillment, and in the end, he had found what he had always sought, dignity, love, and partnership. He turned to Shun, his voice soft. "In my first life, I thought love meant surrender. In this life, I have learned that love means freedom. Thank you for teaching me that." Shin smiled, his hand clasping Zhao Yang's firmly. "And thank you for walking beside me. Together, we have faced the world. Together, we have triumphed." The sun dipped below the horizon, casting the sky in hues of gold and crimson. Zhao Yong closed his eyes, content. His journey was complete.